Good afternoon, everyone. I got my parts in for the DR, and so we're in my garage. It's 30 degrees outside and 45 inside because I have not started up the pellet stove yet. Because I'm just fighting that off as long as I can, because once I start that stove up, that means winter is here and I'm not ready for winter yet. So anyhow, I'm going to get the old impeller off and put the new one on, and we're going to get this thing fired up today. So let's get this old one off. So I'll hold that impeller on. When I bought the DR, this puller came with it. So let's see how it works today. Sometimes it works good, sometimes it doesn't. And today it worked good. Oops, sorry about the bump. So this is what we got for the old one and the new one. The old one you can see where it's wore right through. Just the sand and everything just wore right on through everything. And I don't know if you could see how thin this has gotten worn compared to this. Whatever. This is my third impeller on the DR there, so I'm thinking that's pretty good. The shaft on this machine is a tapered shaft, so it don't take much to hold that impeller on, just a little bit of pressure. So let's put her back on. And these edges there, they're pretty, if you're not careful, they'll grab a hold of you. And that bolt is torqued to 25 foot-pounds. So that was the easy part. Now let's just put the rest back together. I also have another one of these wear plates, which I am going to make this work through this rest of the season, and I'll replace it for the spring. This plate bolts in through there. That's for the holder for the hose. And yes, it is that tight in there. One thing the DR did that I changed is they had the bolts going through this direction. Well, this side's plastic, and then if you take this off and put it back on a couple times, it starts wearing a hole in the plastic. So I just flipped it around. Put a bigger washer on it. And then the lock nut. Just try to preserve it just a little bit longer. One thing you always got to remember on this, so after you dump this, is put that back on. I've started so many yards without putting this back on, and all this stuff comes back and hits me in the back of the head. So this has been sitting since May. Let's see if we get this thing started up in a few bowls. Okay, can you see that? Yeah, you can see that. Let's see if this thing will start now. Throttle on, choke. Okay, running this, I see something that's loose. Which that thing I can never keep tight. Okay, since this is loose, I'm going to change the gasket on it also. Because I know the gasket's blown. The only problem is, if I would have taken the rest of this plate off, when this whole thing was off, it would have been easier to do. So now I got to fight with it a little bit. It's a little bit tight, you got to pry it a little bit, but you can always get it off. The exhaust gasket wasn't too bad, but I have a new one, so let's put a new one on. Now the fun part of getting it all back on. And its exhaust is still a little bit hot, so it makes it a little tougher on me here. So last time I had it running here, when I just started it and I was checking around, I was feeling for air leaks around the head gasket stuff because I have replaced the head gasket on that twice because the head bolts have loosened up. So I have an extra head gasket and extra exhaust gaskets that I keep on my pegboard above my bench here at all times, because when the leaf season hits, I cannot be without this piece of equipment, because this right here saves me so much time. It does probably 5 times the amount of work as the clamshell bagger does on the Skag there, or at least it does it 5 times faster. Because I could do 2 of my city lots or city yards without emptying this DR out at all, and I just dump it on a trailer. I empty out the DR 3 times on my trailer, and then the 4th time I take the whole trailer and everything all and just go and dump it all, and that gets me 8 yards. So with the clamshell bagger, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that as fast, because I do 8 yards, or we do 8 yards in about 6 hours on cleanup in the city. So it works out really well for us, and it's all about saving time on everything. So there's a couple more things I want to check out on this. I've pretty much gone over everything I was going to do on this DR. It started up, what, second pull I think it was, and sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It depends on how long it's been sitting and what kind of gas is in it. And I think in the spring I started up. I think it took like about 20 pulls to get that thing started, just because it sat so long. But this year I got lucky and it started on the second pull. So that is going to be the end of my video today on the DR. I wanted to give an update on what I was doing and put it all back together so everybody could hear it run and everything, and to see what else I go through with it. Even though it's kind of a high maintenance machine, I think pretty much every machine that you have is high maintenance, because it's got moving parts. Things are going to break on it. It doesn't matter what it is. But this thing gets abused really, really bad. I put 5 gallons of gas a week through this thing, and it's running hard. It runs hard all day long, and it never gets a chance to cool down. And when the first year that this came out, this muffler here, this is the second muffler because I sent a replacement. There was an update on it, but this muffler in the evening, this thing inside the cover there would be completely cherry red. It was so hot. And I think that's a lot of the problem I have with everything loosened up, because the thing was getting so hot. It was just heating everything up too much. So anyhow, that is going to be the end of my video for today. I thank you for watching and subscribing. If you could check out the links in the description box below, it would be greatly appreciated. Everybody have a good evening, and we will see you at the next yard.